Hey everybody, this is Roadblock. It's time for Browns Talk again, and today, as promised, we are dropping the video on 5 potential candidates to replace Hue Jackson, who is gone as head coach of the Cleveland Browns for next year. Now, Gregg Williams has been named the interim head coach for the rest of this year, and Freddie Kitchens is going to be the interim offensive coordinator for the rest of this year. And to start this video off, I just want to get this out of the way because I know people are going to say it. I don't want to hear anything about Josh McDaniels, Urban Meyer, Jim Harbaugh, or Nick Saban coaching the Browns. It's not going to happen. If it was going to happen, it would have happened already. Urban Meyer's not leaving Ohio State, okay? Josh McDaniels played the Colts last year. Nobody's going to trust him again after that. Jim Harbaugh is not leaving his cushy college job at Michigan to come coach the Cleveland Browns, okay? And Nick Saban, I don't even know why people think he would ever come back to the NFL. He is beloved and worshipped in Tuscaloosa, Alabama as head coach of the Crimson Tide. He is not going to give that up until the day that man retires. So now that we've got those 4 guys out of the way, you know that they are not going to be on this list. So let's get on with it to the 4 or 5 potential guys that could be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns next season. All right, so the list that I put together has 5 names on it, and one of these is probably not going to happen, but it would be interesting if it did happen. We're going to save that one. We're going to call him the ghost mystery candidate for last. So the first 2 names on my list are 2 names that are going to show up on a lot of lists looking for Browns head coaches, and that's Dave Taub, who is the special teams coordinator in Kansas City. He's got a connection to John Dorsey, and if Dave Taub could work as head coach and oversee the team and let maybe Gregg Williams and another hired offensive coordinator run the offense, that might be an ideal situation that might appeal to John Dorsey. And the other is Lincoln Riley, who is Baker Mayfield's college coach. He was actually asked what he would do if he were approached by the Browns to be their head coach. And here's a video detailing that question being asked to him yesterday and his response. Let's take a look.
People already firing your name out for the Cleveland Browns job. Do you have any interest coaching the NFL?
That was coming. No, not right now. You sit there and answer these questions, and I always want to be truthful. The truth is, for me, is I love Oklahoma. I love coaching here. I love college football. I certainly don't have that itch right now. I don't know that I ever will, but I'm never going to be a guy that's going to stand up here and say, no way, no how will any of these things ever happen. I don't know that, but I know right now I could care less about the NFL. We're trying to win this game and trying to make a run that we all think we have in us right now.
Okay, so that press conference question right there may have just answered the question about Lincoln Riley. Let's move on to a couple more realistic candidates, starting with the one that's going to be serving as the interim head coach for the rest of this season, defensive coordinator Gregg Williams, the man behind Bounty Gate in New Orleans. Gregg Williams started out in the NFL a long time ago. He's been in the NFL for over 20-some years. Back in 2001, he was the head coach in Buffalo, and since then he's been a defensive coordinator for the Redskins, the Jaguars, the Saints, senior defensive assistant for the Titans, defensive coordinator for the Rams, and now defensive coordinator and interim head coach for the Browns. He would provide a familiar face, somebody that knows how Jimmy Haslam wants the program run. I don't know if he would turn the defensive coordinator spot over to his son Blake, or who he would hire for an offensive coordinator. So Gregg Williams could stay. He could stay as the defensive coordinator. He could leave altogether. We really don't know yet, and we won't know until the end of the season. And that brings us to my 4th candidate, who has been in Cleveland before as the offensive coordinator. This is Coach Flip DiFilippo, who, if you remember, was the offensive coordinator of the Browns under head coach Mike Pettin. John DeFilippo came into the NFL back in 2005 as the offensive quality control coach for the Giants under Tom Coughlin. In 07, he was hired as a quarterbacks coach by Oakland under Lane Kiffin, and he stayed under Tom Cable. In 09, he was hired as the Jets quarterbacks coach by Rex Ryan. 2010 to 11, he went back to coaching in college at San Jose State. 2012, he was the quarterbacks coach back in Oakland again under Dennis Allen and Tony Sparano. 2015, he was the offensive coordinator in Cleveland with Mike Pettin. Once Mike Pettin was fired and the Browns moved on again, he went on to be the quarterbacks coach of the Eagles, and they went on to win the Super Bowl with Doug Peterson as the head coach. Surprise, surprise. John DeFilippo coached Carson Wentz, and then Nick Foles, believe it or not, to a Super Bowl win. In 2018, he spent as the offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, which is the position he currently holds. The Vikings are looking like a pretty decent team this year. Their offense is looking pretty good. Jimmy Haslam could possibly look to bring Coach Flip back to Cleveland for round 2 as a head coach this time around. And it would be interesting to see how he handles that and what kind of a staff he puts together. So don't sleep on Coach Flip. And that will bring us to our 5th and final potential candidate to become the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Drum roll, please. Let's reveal the mystery man. Look, it's Rob Chudzinski. Surprise! I know probably nobody's seen this coming, and I haven't really heard anybody bring his name up. Right now he's working in Indianapolis as the assistant head coach and the offensive coordinator since Pep Hamilton left when Hue Jackson poached him for the Browns, and he's since left and went to work with Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. But Rob Chudzinski played his college ball at Miami University. He's from Toledo, Ohio, played at St. John's Jesuit High School. He's a former Browns coach twice. First as the tight ends coach and the interim offensive coordinator in 2004. The team finished 10-6 that year, sent 4 offensive players to the Pro Bowl. Why the hell he didn't get to stick around after Romeo Crennel was fired is beyond me. He's a head coach in 2013. And he was fired after only 1 season, which the Browns actually looked pretty decent considering the players they had. And I believe he went 4-12 in that season, which is better than Hue Jackson did in 3 years. So come on, folks. Bring Coach Chud back. Let him run the Browns again. Let him show us what he could have done the first time around that Jimmy Haslam didn't give him the time to do the first time. I would love to see that. So, who would you like to see as the next head coach of the Browns? Let me know in the comments what you think about my potential candidates and any other potential candidates that you think deserve to be included, and maybe we'll do another video on them. So, until next time, this is Roadblock with the Browns channel. Until the next video, I'm out and I'm gone.